All right, picture this. You're standing in front of someone you're really into, and suddenly, your brain just completely freezes. Your mouth goes dry, your mind is totally blank, and out comes the most agonizingly boring small talk you can possibly imagine. We have all been there, and frankly, it's pretty painful. But what if you could just flip a switch and become instantly magnetic? Today, we're going to unpack exactly how to do that, and I'll even tease a final key to the heart hack that will unlock at the very end of this explainer.
Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the psychology of connection to reveal how you can transform a mundane, totally forgettable 5-minute chat into a deeply engaging interaction. We're going to walk through a summary of 4 specific psychological level-ups that will completely change the way you connect with people.
Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We've got 1. The 5-minute impression. 2. Observer versus interviewer. 3. Suspense and curiosity. 4. Playful teasing. 5. Deep connections. And finally, 6. Natural confidence. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. The 5-minute impression. The make or break moment.
Moving into Section 2, and really our first major hack, observer instead of interviewer. It is time to stop the interrogation.
You know how it feels when someone just peppers you with questions. What do you do? Where do you live? It feels exactly like a job interview, right? The interviewer puts all the heavy lifting on the other person. But an observer, they'll throw out a statement like, "You seem like," which completely flips the script. It shows immense confidence and proves you're actually paying attention to them as an individual, rather than just reading off some mental script.
This brings us to a psychological trick called cold reading. Basically, you're making a fun, educated guess about someone based on their outfit, how they speak, or just their overall vibe. It elevates you from being a boring interrogator to a kind of fascinating mentalist. And the best part? Even if your guess is totally wrong, it naturally sparks a really fun correction and a much better conversation anyway.
As promised, we're giving you one actionable example for each technique today. So here is your very first one. Instead of the typical, "What are your hobbies?" try using this exact statement. "From the way you speak, it seems like you read a lot of books, right?" It's a total game changer. You've instantly replaced the boring question with an observation that makes them feel seen, flatters their intelligence, and actually sparks a real discussion.
All right, Section 3, bringing us to hack number 2, creating curiosity with suspense. I like to call this the art of the tease.
Now that you've got the conversation flowing, you need to drop some small conversational hooks. There's this psychological principle called the Zeigarnik effect. Basically, the human brain is literally wired to fixate on incomplete puzzles or interrupted stories way more than finished ones. You definitely don't want to be a suspense-free movie where the whole plot is given away in the opening scene. You want to leave open loops so their brain practically forces them to stay engaged with you.
Let's anchor this with our second actionable example. Imagine just casually dropping this line. "A hilarious thing happened to me last week. You'd fall off your chair laughing, but I can't tell you right now." See what that does? You've just opened a massive psychological loop. You are practically forcing the other person to lean in, chase the end of your story, and actively keep the conversation alive.
Moving right along to Section 4. Hack number 3. The art of playful teasing. This is all about sparking the chemistry.
Look, if you want to tease effectively, you have to stop worshiping the person you're talking to and start playing with them as an equal. You're aiming for that fun, flirty tension. But, and this is a massive but, you have to use these specific guardrails. Never, ever insult deep insecurities, like someone's weight or their family. The golden rule here? Always smile and use a light tone so they absolutely know you're just playing around.
Here is your actionable example for playful teasing. Say they brag a tiny bit about being a great cook. Don't just give a generic compliment like, "Oh wow, that's awesome." Instead, with a big, playful smile and a highly amused tone, try this. "You cook well? Really? No one's been admitted to the hospital yet after eating your food?" This specific challenge creates a really fun, competitive dynamic that basic compliments simply never could.
Which brings us to Section 5, building deep emotional connections. Hack number 4, and the final key I promised you at the start, unlocking the heart.
Because while teasing is great for getting their attention, depth is what actually captures their heart. To pull off this transition, you have to balance your humor with genuine depth using a concept called controlled vulnerability. This means deliberately opening up, sharing your dreams, maybe your fears, or just your inner thoughts. When you show you trust them with your inner world, it naturally encourages them to do exactly the same.
Take this fourth and final actionable example and deploy it when the mood is super relaxed and the ice has been thoroughly broken. Just ask them, "What is the one thing that scares you the most?" Notice how this seamlessly shifts the whole conversation from surface-level fun to a deeply memorable emotional bond. You're asking about their core humanity, and honestly, that is incredibly attractive.
Let's bring it all together in Section 6, Becoming Naturally Confident, going beyond the script. Here's the real secret. The ultimate goal isn't to walk around forever acting like some calculating psychological mastermind. These hacks, they're training wheels, not a lifelong script. The true objective is to practice these 4 tools: observing, creating curiosity, teasing, and sharing vulnerably, until this confident, engaging nature just simply becomes who you naturally are. To wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a challenge. Out of these 4 psychological hacks, observing instead of interviewing, creating suspense, playful teasing, and controlled vulnerability, which one do you find the hardest to practice in real life? Take a second, identify your biggest conversational roadblock right now, and make a plan to test out just one of our actionable examples the very next time you meet someone new. Really appreciate you joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.